Good morning. Great to be with you this morning. Listen, I just want a couple minutes of your time. I promised you last night I was going to teach you something about money. Everybody wants to run to the money. This is going to be interesting because the people in the United States of America actually think that they are free. They rant and they rave, they wave their Bibles, their guns, and they say we're a free people. And let me tell you something. I'm a patriot, I'm a constitutionalist, and I firmly believe in the Second Amendment, but we're not free. Example, let me ask you a couple questions, Mr. or Mrs. Free. If you're free, how come you go to work and somebody takes a third of your pay before you even get your check? Are you really free? No. How come we're paying taxes when that was the very thing we revolted against at the Boston Tea Party? Are you really free? Another question is, who are you paying these taxes to? This country is being run by bankers and corporations. Don't kid yourself. You want to go with racial divides. You want to go with color divides. You want to go with nationality divides. That's not, you know what? It's a game plan for them to put in place, so we're always fighting against ourselves and we never look at the man behind the curtain. Thank God for Toto. I told you I was going to tell you something about money today. It's something that I've learned over the years. It's about that greenback, the mighty dollar. This happens to be a 20, but you're going to find the same words on a dollar bill. It says Federal Reserve Note. I want you to understand that the IRS code has a code in there, Title 28, that says the Federal Reserve Note is intrinsically worthless. Say what? Worthless. You mean this don't buy something? Oh, man, you crazy, man. I spend it. I get it. People pay me. I get, Okay, well, listen. Let's go with the first word we got here, federal. First off, if you look into the phone book and you're looking for the IRS number, you won't find it in government pages. You won't find it in the blue pages. You'll find it in the white pages. Why? Because they are not a government entity. They make you think that. They speak that. The government tries to prosecute people with that. But they are cashiers, gun-toting bootjacks for these federal guys, for these people up at the top, the big money people that are trying to put the pressure and the oppression upon the people. So if it's not federal, then we got to move on to the next word. The next word being note or reserve, the word reserve. Now you and I, if you listen to the news at any time at all, you'll find out we don't have any reserves. We're 18 trillion plus dollars in the hole. Okay, I'll go with that. No reserves. There's no gold or silver behind this Federal Reserve note. That's the second thing that ought to bring up a red flag and let you know that something's going on. There's no reserves. Now what? We move on to the word note. Let me get a good picture of that. Note. This is a note. The only true thing about this piece of paper is that it is a note. It is an IOU. We pass these things back and forth to each other. We're thinking that we're buying something. The vendors think they're selling something, and the debt is never canceled. We just keep these things in circulation. Why do you think JFK got killed? He wanted to go back to the gold and silver standard. They don't want that because they can print this crap all they want. It's harder to stamp a coin than it is to just print a note. What am I getting at? Let's break this down into our level of everyday. Now, you believers, you people that go to church, you Christians, we all are supposed to tithe. Tithe what? It's an IOU. So we're going to drop an IOU in the basket or the bucket to make pretend that we're actually doing something. See, we're all living the lie. Get to it. We're all living the lie. And you want to take your bony little chicken fingers and pull $1 out of your wallet like you made a difference and you paid the rent or you helped the heat stay on. You got $1 out there in the basket when you know if these things are worthless, you could give up more than $1. Amen? So when you think about this and you think about tithing, you read Matthew 5, 6, and 7. Here's something that you really ought to get a hold of because the Hebrew teaching on this is wonderful. I know not everybody's going to want to dig that deep, but hey, let me tell you something. Some of the best treasure is at the bottom of the pit. When you get into Matthew 5, 6, and 7, you're going to see the word forgive. You're going to say, well, I can forgive, but I can't forget. Well, listen, honey, if you can't forget, you didn't forgive. But I'm going to play on this word, and I'm going to teach you something about this word forgive. It is the word forthgive. It means to give forth. You be the first one. You do something. When you forgive somebody, you come to them. How many examples do you have in the Bible? If you know if somebody says aught against you, that you go to them and humble yourself. That is forthgiving. When you forthgive, that means you ought to be doing something way ahead of time, way ahead of the plan. Do something that you can't even have the concept of even knowing what you're doing to make an effect. Oh, you're so worried about, well, if I give the money to the church, the preacher might misuse it. You know, they buy jets and they have hotels and motels. And you know what? Don't give then. Don't give. You're a steward just like he's a steward. If he misuses it, that's on him. That ain't on you. So what's your dollar going to do? You see where we're at? We need to quit living a lie. If you are so bent out of shape and worried about what the preacher's going to do with your money, go hit the streets, go win some souls, find somebody that's poor, deprivation, look at them, hey man, I love you, I want to take you to lunch today, let me do something for you. My name is James A. Carden, and this is Fire from the Throne.